Guys, if you want a huge squat, then you need to be doing quarter squats. No, not those quarter squats. I'm talking about quarter squats for squat technique. Guys, today we're going to get to the bottom of the problem with squatting, because the bottom is where most people fall apart. Let's get started. Welcome to the American Iron Training Gym. Whether you train in a commercial gym, you have a home gym this extensive, or just some dumbbells in your living room, I have the no BS fitness information you need to reach your goals. I'm Keith Daniels, certified personal trainer, 20 years experience, and lifetime natural lifter. This is American Iron Training. Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, go ahead and click that subscribe button down the corner. And if you're returning, welcome back. Guys, today we're going to talk about the quarter squat for great squat technique. We're going to break this down into 3 parts. We're going to talk about execution of the movement, why it's so important, how we use it in our training program, and finally, bonus tips for free gains on squats. Start off squatting and everything's going good. We're maintaining good form, good technique, hitting depth, gradually adding weight, working up. And then something happens once we start to get deep into those working sets or the weight gets heavy. We have that oh shit moment where we think, I might not come back up from the bottom of this squat. And that is when our technique goes to total hell. Get into the bottom of the movement and what happens? Our knees cave in, our hips shoot up first, we end up rounding over at the upper back, and we can't finish the lift. We're failing because we're giving up technique for speed. Now we see the same phenomenon when guys yank on deadlift bars or try and bounce bench press bars off of their chest. What happens is they end up sacrificing their form and jumping out of the groove. So instead of them being able to grind through the movement slowly with good technique, they end up sacrificing that technique for speed. And what happens is they end up failing the movement. Most people aren't failing squats out of the bottom because of a strength issue. They're failing it because they're giving up the one thing that would have allowed them to grind through. The difference is it's not going to be fast, it's going to be very slow. But the quarter squat is going to allow us to get used to that movement. Now, if you're trying to lift a heavy weight, the reason for having perfect form, perfect technique is obvious. We want to try and lessen or mitigate the risk of injury. But let's say that you're like me and you're not interested in lifting heavy weights. You're just using the squat to build your legs, to build muscle. Well, guys, the reason for having perfect technique is still there, but in a little bit different way. Now, obviously, we still want to mitigate the risk of injury, but with a lighter weight, it's already kind of doing that. But the reason we want to have perfect technique is because we want to get the most growth possible. Now, let's say that we were doing a set of 10 reps, and at the end, our form started to break down. Now, if we had had perfect form and perfect technique, maybe we could have got 12 or 13 reps. And the last reps of your set are going to be the closest to failure. They're going to cause the most growth stimulus. So you're going to be killing your own gains if you're sacrificing those 2 or 3 reps at the end because your technique is breaking down. So we want to make sure that we have perfect form and perfect technique so we can grind out those last reps that are so important for getting big legs. Guys, if you've been enjoying this video so far, do me a favor and click that like button so that way this video can get to more people. All right, guys, programming for the quarter squat, we're going to keep it as simple as my ability to draw stick figures. So in this example, we'd be having 2 leg days a week and a quarter squat or technique day. So on Monday, we would be doing our heavy squatting to build muscle. We would then have 2 days where we're training something else or we're off. That's going to allow us to recover. Then on Thursday, we have another quad or leg-based day. That's going to be leg press. My stick figures apparently Ronnie Coleman. And then on Saturday, once we've had another rest day or a day off to train something else, then we're going to do our technique work. Now, because this isn't a muscle building exercise and it's not going to cause too much muscular damage, it's not going to interfere with your recovery. So I make sure that I have this with 2 days on either side of it, either they're off or training another body part. Then I could come back on Monday and do my heavy squats with even better technique. Here's how we execute the quarter squat. So you're going to set up just like a normal squat. Now I'm demonstrating with a high bar position, but you can utilize these for any squat technique that you want to build, whether it's front squats or you're using a specialty bar. Any type of squat technique can utilize this movement pattern. Now, what we do is we descend into the bottom And then we're going to slowly come back up. We're going to eliminate that stretch reflex. We're going to stop just above the sticking point, which is when our glutes generally just pass parallel. And then we're going to come back down. We're simply going to maintain going through that range of motion from the very bottom up to just past the sticking point in a very slow and controlled manner. We're going to make sure that our technique is flawless and that we're not utilizing any stretch reflex. We're simply trying to ingrain this perfect technical pattern into the muscles. Now, I like to use these in a 10 to 12 rep range with a fairly light weight. The reason is because we're using this as a technical movement. We are not trying to build a lot of muscle here. This is not going to be a significant hypertrophic movement because the range of motion is so short. We're only utilizing this to build technique. All right, guys, here's a bonus tip for free squat gains. Now, in between your sets of squats, what do we all do? Well, we find a bench, we sit on it, and we do this. But there's a huge problem with doing that. When we're taking a rest and we lean forward onto our legs, we're teaching our body that when it's at its most tired, what we need to do is round over and lean forward. What ends up happening is your body is going to fall back on whatever neurological pattern it repeats over and over. So when you get tired, instead of slouching forward, fight to keep your core tight and stay upright. Now guys, I know that sounds simple, but it's shockingly difficult to do once you start trying it. But I promise you that in the weeks and months after you start doing it, it's going to pay huge benefits because you're going to find it much easier to stay upright in the squat as your body gets tired when you get deep into those hard working sets. Guys, if you want to support this channel, head over to AmericanIronTraining.com, pick up workout programs and awesome workout apparel. I appreciate everybody who's been supporting the channel. And guys, if you've stuck with me this long, hopefully this gives you a laugh. Guys, have a great workout and I'll see you next time.